Hey everybody, it's Minius, and we finally got an information drop for the Mass Effect Trilogy Remaster, or Legendary Edition as it's called. It was really more of a bunch of minor bits and pieces about the games accompanied by a very pretty flash reel of 4K footage. This video is a quick compilation of the most interesting nuggets I saw as I match up clips from the new trailer to my old footage so we can get a look at the difference. If you want to go straight to the sources, and you should, I've got a bunch of links in the description box that get into way more detail. But let's start things off. This game is going to be released on May 14th of this year. I find this the most interesting, obviously, because it's when you get to play the game, but more from a business standpoint. It was the number one thing I was looking for. Is this game going to come out along the same lines as Anthem and Mass Effect Andromeda right at the end of Electronic Arts' financial calendar? And it's not. It's being pushed back, so this is not being pushed forward too fast just to make a quick buck. That's very, very interesting. The console versions will have 4K and 60 frames per second support. That's the PS4 Pro, Xbox One X. There is no specific version for your PS5 and the Xbox Series S and X, but as with all games that come out now, they will be playable on those. The frame rate on PC was going to be, quote, unleashed. Not specific information, but intriguing. Texture resolution for all the models and assets have been improved by between 4 and 16 times over. They went through with an artificial intelligence program and then got human artists on that to tweak it. There's a lot of little improvements that you'll see going forward. Most interestingly, what was done the most out of all the games was little tweaks to gameplay in Mass Effect 1. For instance, all the classes will have access to all the weapons, but they won't be able to spec specifically into them, so you'll still have the general clumsy big circle if you're going to use a sniper rifle with an adept, but you will be able to use a sniper rifle if you want to. Aim assist will be a bit higher, the aiming cone circle will be a bit more generous, and now you can strafe and keep things locked on as you strafe. The user interface is supposed to be a bit cleaner, the Mako is going to handle better, and the inventory system is supposed to be cleaner. That specifically hasn't been finalized yet, but it'll be more in line with the PC version as opposed to the console versions. There are improved AI for both squad and enemies, there's some bug fixes, and you can now skip the elevator scenes after the level has actually loaded. You don't have to just stand there for a full minute. You can if you want to, apparently. There's an option. One thing all three games will have on PC is controller support, which was not in the originals. There were also a bunch of no's that were confirmed. There will be no new story content, even stuff that was previously clipped. Apparently it's going to be too difficult to push those back into the story without changing what's actually in the story, so it's just going to be what you've got in the original trilogy. There will be no Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, which, according to Mac Walters, who's heading up the project, would have taken as much effort to do as redoing the entire single first Mass Effect game, which they obviously put the most work into. That's disappointing, but understandable. There is no plan to have a next-generation PS5, Xbox Series SX version, or plans to upscale it afterwards. That is a little disappointing. Also, there is no Nintendo Switch version, though that hasn't been ruled out, but it definitely will not come with the May 14th release date. With the Legendary Edition comes all of the DLC for the trilogy. Everything except for Pinnacle Station, which apparently was corrupted, and they haven't been able to repair it. So that one is out, but the rest is in. It's going to have, I guess, a full 90 hours based on all my playthroughs. One thing that was omitted, there is no mention of any connection to the next Mass Effect game. No importing saves forward. They're leaving that forward. I don't know how far along that next game is. But there's some info. I would check out the description box for the full links. There's a lot of info out there. As a general overview, it looks like it is going to be just a remaster, maybe a little bit more in cases, but it is a very, very narrow scope compared to what some games are doing with their remasters. Whether or not that's a positive or not, I don't know. I love the Mass Effect games and would have replayed them anyway, so this is right up my alley. May not be for everyone. We'll see. If we get any more information on the Legendary Edition between now and May 14th, I'll try to bring it to you. I wouldn't expect too much, though, so enjoy your wait, and we'll be there on May 14th. I'm going to let things run to show off any more footage comparisons, but for now,
I should go.